I would like to remind you that this microphone is used for recording purposes only and not to project. Please feel free to give my classmates a round of applause as they conclude their poems. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Kelly Struble with Wisdom Revealed. Kelly, come take it away.
There are those who have spent countless hours searching for wisdom. Many have come to think of themselves as wise, thinking they have the answer whatever it may be, abstaining from certain foods, not touching the untouchables, excluding oneself from society for a while in deep meditation and discipline, or bowing before a sacred deity on certain days. They believe their disciplines have made them holy, and they worship themselves daily, praising their own alms and fasts, and despising the less spiritual. They know not the only way to be wise is to be foolish. The only way to be found is to be lost. For in this, realizing one is foolish or lost, we obtain for ourselves humility. For it is he who praises himself that will be humbled, and it is the humble who will be praised. Those are the lost that shall be found, as is the fools that will become wise. The truth is that the heart is foolish and desperately wicked. No one can understand it. Every desire, either good or bad, comes from an organ not understandable. And one cannot surrender his heart to goodness and wisdom, thinking only thoughts of peace and love. Rather, he must have his heart circumcised, so that he may become blameless and harmless. For the harmlessness of the natural heart shows its favorites, and the blamelessness of this well of darkness shows its secret transgressions. For the city of Babylon has fallen, but its ways exist elsewhere inside the natural heart. And this heart weeps not even for the dead of its hometown of Babylon. The heart of wisdom realizes that it is no better than those of Babylon, and prays for Babylon to have mercy imputed to itself daily. Oh, may the inhabitants escape the coming flood. May they find a floating flank of wood, or a rock that take the blows of the seas. If you call me wise, I shall laugh, for the wisdom I have is not owned by me, but has been imputed unto me. For wisdom does not come through the burden of laws or codes, but it comes from the easy yoke of him that is meek and humble at heart. This heart do you need, if you are to be truly wise, for he whom can amaze scholars at 12 is worthy to be called wise. But the wise does not need grace, but the liars. So in this, leave the wise alone to be wise, and let every other be a liar, so that grace may heal us. Poverty cannot clean filthy rags, nor can riches analyze the camel going through the eye of the needle. In this, those whom give up their possessions are not all wise, and tremendous wealth does not always show that wisdom dwells in the heart. So neither absence nor abundance of wealth shows that you have wisdom. Rather, you show you are wise by loving the wise with your entire being, and loving the wise as creations. This is done by doing everything with justice, by loving mercy, and by walking humbly with him whom alone is wise. None have run with the wisdom necessary to obtain the title of the wise. So the one who used wisdom to create the universe and all its people has fulfilled the task of true wisdom, so that all through him may come to be wise, to be with the wise, whom alone is wise. So that while we were yet fools, the wise died for us, to save us from wrath, so that we too will become wise, and show the broken the true healing of the wise forever. Let the wise be wise alone. Let the wise have his glory alone. In truth, the wisdom of a wise is a standard that many men have tried to keep, but this wisdom is a burden too hard for men to keep. Behold, no man does wisdom continually and does not transgress from it, because the moment one transgressions even the smallest bit, he is a fool. But the wise has mercy to cover all foolishness and transgressions and iniquities. So it is true. The wise is wise alone, and only that mercy shows no favorites and lasts forever. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kyle, and my poem is about procrastination, which is putting things off until like the last minute, which is my character. Uh, Here on this chair with squinted eyes, I sit here with so many thoughts of mine that go through my head. I just want to go to bed, tirely pondering where my motivation went, sitting in front of the computer just scrolling through the internet. I look through the stupid stuff that's making it rough to concentrate less. Now I know it's not nice when I have a project due tomorrow, so I'll have to lie. But like an adrenaline junkie always goes for danger, I always procrastinate. The first time I procrastinated was like the first time I ever lied to somebody. They asked me, "Hey, are you alright?" And I had to say, "Yeah, I guess I'm fine." Now I know it's not nice to waste time. Like when I'm doing. Oh, hold on, look, there's a dime. What? Oh, yeah, that's right. I know it's bad, so please don't get mad. Try to be glad that I'm trying to add to this fire in this dire situation that I'm in. It's kind of getting a little thin to think of these rhymes. I'll just go with the latter. Procrastination in the mind is like a monkey taking the wheel away from the guy responsibility. I'll have the flexibility of changing my ways. I know it'll take days and nights, and it'll take a few light ideas to change, but I'll fight this way till the end, and I'll try to bend the word procrastination to the word that the nation will no longer know, and I'll show my haters, Jonah, that I'm awesome. I'm awesome enough to change. I'll show that it's fun to become someone new. Yeah, just let me pause this delicious Mountain Dew. Ugh, delicious not. So if you're in a rut, you can somewhat take a break or have some peanuts to calm you down. I couldn't think of any rhymes other than that. Just look around you and erase what you see so that you can only focus on what you need. Now that you focused on what you need and about what you want to work on, you realize something. It's bogus. You can save it for tomorrow.
The Little Boy with Cerebral Palsy by Dustyn Green. I can't play sports because I have cerebral palsy. I can get up and down the court better than basketball players. I can juke people up better than football players. Oh, wait, I almost forgot the cerebral palsy is a gift. Oh, yeah, I can drive better than the old lady on the road. I feel like an old man most days, but yeah, I'll be alright. I might as well drive horse and buggy. It might be easier. Oh, wait, I cannot walk. An old man gets on better than I do. I can swim though, maybe even better than Michael Phelps. No, just kidding. Oh geez, do not walk in front of me. I might kick you out of the knees. Oh boy, imagine me juking out LeBron James. Almost impossible, right? Well, it's definitely impossible in my chair. I don't care. I can be any athlete out on the court. What should I say in my chair? My life is like a revolving door. I constantly change. Everything makes me stronger. I'm starting to grow a manly beard, one little hair at a time.
An open letter to Someone by Emma Valentin. Hey, how are you? I'd say I'd hope you're doing well, but I've never liked to suffer alone. Um, but I also don't want you to feel like this. I don't want anyone to feel like this. It's confusing and hypocritical, but I have always been confusing and hypocritical. I'm still trying to change, but in a way that won't crush me. Now, after the fact, I am thankful that it ended. It still hurts regardless. It still hurts regardless. Although the anger was more prominent, more demanding of my attention, all of my attention, I was angry for so long. The type of angry that consumes a person and shakes them to their core. You made me so angry. Maybe it's all those times I should have been angry at you, all those times I should have been anything but immediately complicit and forgiving. More times than not, you would look at me like you loved me, call me beautiful, and then start laughing because you remembered that a girl that you liked, who liked you back, called me an ugly rat in class earlier that week. You found a lot of things funny, especially at my expense. I wonder when I stopped believing your broken apologies and promises to change. Maybe after the third time they say when someone does something consistently 3 times, it's a pattern. You definitely had a pattern. Your threats were like a picture of an empty glass. Water added in Photoshop. From just seeing the end result, how could I tell that the glass was always empty? We both knew that you were stronger than me, and past traumas had fears that were easy to pick at. I was always a grand piano with the top up, strings exposed, anxious. My first mistake was trying to calm my fears by telling myself that you could not play. Children that do not know the worth of the things in front of them are more likely to rip it apart. I know what it's like to be ripped apart, and this is not it. My piano body was repainted, buffed, and lacquered. The top was closed, so from the outside I looked perfect. Flawless. I looked like the exact opposite of broken, but if you pressed my keys, you would find I make no sound. On a good day, I would be untuned. If you propped open my top, you would find it tattered, like someone tried to replace my old strings with new ones. They were never careful. My broken old strings replaced with new, crappy strands of metal. Oh, I thought I was being nurtured and fixed and loved. But after 8 months, I recognized the rest. Perfectly flawed.
My Own Hell by, of course, this character. Um, do you ever feel that no one quite understands how you feel? Or are you terrified of the things that go on inside your own head? I guess not. Allow me to illustrate. Imagine walking through the valleys of a world long left behind, the screams of fallen people echoing in the wind. And yet you know you are impossibly alone. You fear the monster that hunts you in your own head. And when you're laying in bed with the one you love most, you wake in a cold sweat, and she tries to ask you what's wrong. And for some reason the words won't leave your mouth. You don't understand, and nobody else does. Your parents say you're exaggerating, but they don't see the monster you see when you look in the mirror, and oh yes, you have broken the glass in that mirror many times. And the only thought that crosses your mind is, oh please God, make it stop. In case you haven't been able to tell, this is the nightmare I deal with on a daily basis. It's my own hell.
Till I Met You by Sayber Cashmiere. Before you, I never knew what love was. Never felt someone's touch mean so much before. Till I met you. Before you, It was lying awake at night, listening to sad songs, talking about love, but never once did I believe it was true. Till I met you. Before you, it was nothing but struggling with depression and my self-worth. Till you, I never loved myself. Before you, I didn't know how to breathe. When I met you, I knew you were the one for me. Before you, I never knew what a lover was, a best friend, what a soulmate was, till I met you.
Thank you all for coming out this morning. We all hope you enjoyed the presentation just as much as we enjoyed putting it on for you. The weather looked a little bit gnarly out there, so be careful on the way home, and we thank you all for coming and have a great day.